All right. Hello and welcome. Right on time here. Just let me do a couple quick double checks of everything before we get started. And remember to go live on TikTok this time over there. Okay. Sound is looking good. All right, we're ready. So, hello, brilliant minds. It's MattyAtoms, and we're at it again today with another live. And this one's going to be exciting. We're going to be talking about the dark mysteries of worlds with no stars, rogue planets. All right, so first, let's just do a quick comet update since I know that's a really hot topic that interests all of you. So it's super interesting to me too, so that works. So, with the US government shutdown still in full effect and updates seeming to slow down, conspiracy theorists have been going haywire with this blackout or brownout, as it were. I've seen allegations that Three Eye Atlas has two or three other companions traveling with it. I've seen graphics saying that it has slowed down behind the sun and it's waiting for us, that it's sped up, that it's changed its path. Basically anything that you could speculate, I've kind of been seeing float around the different social media sites. So let's just address some of these rumors right away. Rumor number one. Space agencies worldwide are coordinating and not releasing images because they saw something they don't want to tell the public about. So, Maddie's take on that, I'd say it's mostly false. There have now been some October images released. These are some older images, but this is the ExoMars image, and we're going to get into why it's actually kind of blurry, not even, I would say, not as good as some of the earlier pictures that we've had from July, but we'll get into that. So, ExoMars from October 3rd, released October 7th. They published this short GIF right here, and stills of Three Eye Atlas from the Trace Gas Orbiter, the TGO, as it passed near Mars. So in this, it's faint, it's fuzzy, it's just a moving dot, right? But the TGO isn't a deep space imager, so not the best images out there, but they are real, they are dated, and they are public. The Mars Express orbiter, they did try to take images with the MEX, but it's only has a 5.5 second exposure limit, so it was too short to really pick anything up. There are teams, I believe even Avi Loeb is one of the people working on trying to stack these frames together in an attempt to get something out of it, but so far they've just kind of got a smudge. So several other outlets, including the Very Large Telescope, the Hubble, Gemini, the TGO, they have released images in October. So is it possible that some images are being held back or sanitized? Sure, it always is. Would world governments tell us if there was something to panic about, right? I know I wouldn't tell us. But information is being released, and the information that hasn't been released, they have a reason or a statement for it. So, for example, would Mars's NASA reconnaissance orbiter even be able to image it? Probably not. The HiRISE is built for static surface shots. It's not really built for chasing faint interstellar objects streaking across the sky. All right, rumor number two. Multiple objects are traveling along with Three Eye Atlas. This one's actually pretty simple. I have not found one credible source making this claim, just a bunch of AI voiced YouTube videos, shoddily made AI art memes, and other clickbaity things from trashy outlets. So if you believe that you have actually found any credible evidence for this information and I'm incorrect, drop it in the comments. Just make sure, like I said, link the actual source of it. Yelling in capital letters is fun on the internet, but it's not very helpful in science. So, rumor number three. Three Eye Atlas is accelerating, slowing, or it's changing direction behind the sun. I even saw one claiming that they basically they're stopping behind the sun, waiting for us. This is likely just because Three Eye Atlas is now at solar conjunction, so we can't see it directly. So if you run a speculation-based page, it's a great time to just sort of make up whatever you would like in the absence of data. So as of now, all of our measurements point to no unexpected changes, but there's a very small amount of non-gravitational acceleration in Three Eye Atlas. Because the NGA is so small, it's fairly accurate to say that as of now, it's acting more like a big rock than a probe or a spaceship. However, we'll learn more as it slingshots out of our solar system, so more acceleration could still happen. This is from the Very Large Telescope. That one's from July. Um, so this is the newest one. This is the ExoMars TGO that I was just talking about, and this is also the one that's playing behind my head here on the TV. So, not really even as good as some of the earlier images that we have. All right, but so now that we have some of these rumors that I've been seeing out of the way, let's talk about how 3i Atlas was likely formed. Well, it's anybody's guess. It likely broke off during the formation of a solar system or a cosmic impact event, such as the hypothesized impact event that formed our moon, but something like that from another solar system. It's also speculated that it could have been ejected from an early dense star-forming region near the galactic center, right? A place so weird and exotic that anything from this region might behave so differently so as to seem alien to us, right? So again, that's something I keep cautioning as I'm talking about these objects. We've only seen 3 interstellar objects. We don't know much about them. We know slightly more about them than we know about aliens, basically. So, but I've got another fun speculation for you for the possible formation of comets like 3i Atlas. Perhaps it was burped or ejected out from a rogue planet system. So, hear me out, and this is going to require a deep level of critical thought. But if you're unaware, a rogue planet, let me just pull it up over here. So, a rogue planet is a planet that is traveling all on its lonesome throughout the depths of outer space. Or is it really truly traveling by itself? Very recently, astronomers have caught a rogue planet, the CHA 11077626. It actually has a longer full designator, but it's in a mega growth spurt. You see this is a nice little CGI kind of animation that they brought up here. It is accreting, I said, about 600 light years away here. They believe that there's enough matter, that there's not enough matter for this object to accrete into a star, but it is accreting gas and dust at 6 billion tons per second. So they think that this is going to eventually stop at a brown dwarf or a failed star, or maybe just be like a hot Jupiter, a large Jupiter flying around in outer space forever. So if you're unaware, a brown dwarf is a failed star. It's about 13 to 80 masses of Jupiter. You get above 80, and then you get to a red dwarf, right? So they can fuse some elements such as deuterium, but they do not sustain hydrogen. Hydrogen fusion. They're warm, but they're not hot. Did you really just almost say Jeff? They're warm but not hot, and they're very dark. So we're talking about just a rogue planet just floating through outer space, right? It would be very dark, probably only lit in infrared, and it would basically have its own dark solar system, right? It would have other objects orbiting around it and colliding with each other in this dark, empty, unseeable reaches of outer space. So along with the aforementioned suggestions, I'd like to put that one out there on the table, that perhaps 3i Atlas and other interstellar comets like it could, and I would like to say it would probably be a smaller percentage chance of this happening, come from a dark rogue planet system. That's the kind of cosmic graveyard where objects like this might be born. So, but who really knows? Basically, we just know it's not from our solar system. So let's get into this crazy rogue planet here. CHA 1107-7626. So it's a free-floating exoplanet about 5 to 10 times the mass of Jupiter. It's 620 light years away, and it was spotted by the JWST and the Very Large Telescope. The official story is that it's an accretion burst, gobbling material via its magnetic field, blurring the line between a planet and a star. But conspiracies, what if it's not natural? Maybe an alien megastructure harvesting gas, or a camouflage ship. And speaking of cosmic fireworks, let's talk about just Halley's Comet right now, since we just have so many meteors going on. But the Orionid meteor shower is caused by the Halley's Comet peaks. So this is actually peaking yesterday and tonight. but it'll still be visible through, I believe, like November 5th. Um, so if you have the visibility, if you have some binoculars, you have a telescope, even with the naked eye, if you have, not a whole lot of light pollution, a great night to go out tonight and actually watch this meteor shower. Should be peaking these. They'll be zipping through at about 41 miles per second, with a peak of up to 20 to 25 meteors per hour under dark skies. So the best viewing is going to be at midnight. You're going to be looking east towards Orion. This is just an ancient comet dust burning up. It's harmless. It's beautiful. But some say meteor showers mask UFO activity or incoming objects. Is it a coincidence? But I will just say it is a crazy spooky for Halloween coming up. It is a very spooky comet season that we have going on. So, but let's tie that all back to the first place. And just because we like to have fun here, I've kind of talk about the official angles, and then we'll talk about the more conspiracy angles a little bit. So, humanity's first radio broadcast started around 1920. So by 2025, these signals have traveled out about 105 light years or so. Now, obviously, it would weaken very much by that point, but so our signals have reached roughly 14,000 star systems or so. Plenty of potential listeners if intelligent life is out there. But like I said, we're a blip in the galaxy. Signals fade over the distance. But what if rogue planets are stealth probes from these systems drawn by chatter, or worse, scouting for an invasion? So, but it's just an exciting thing to think about. That's, more on the science fiction-y end. So, yeah, just absolutely nuts here, though. Like I said, 600 light years away. It's been going through a growth spurt, researchers report in the October 10th Astrophysical Journal letters. This planet, which doesn't orbit a star, so that's basically the main thing about a rogue planet. There's nothing really too complicated about understanding what it is, except for the fact that it doesn't orbit a star. But like I said, just because it's not orbiting a star does not mean that other things can't be orbiting it. So, first spotted the young rogue planet called CHA 11707626 in the southern hemisphere constellation Chameleon, almost 20 years ago. It's estimated to be 5 to 10 times as massive as Jupiter, and it's been packing on the pounds right now. He and his colleagues wanted to investigate the evolution of rogue planets, which may have formed around host stars, like standard planets, and then been flung off from their homes or formed in isolation from collapsing gas like stars do. Hey James, how's it going? Thanks for stopping in. Thanks for stopping in, everybody. Earlier this year. So yeah, very interesting. Like I said, just a thought. This appears to be a very large accreting rogue planet, so we're really getting an opportunity to see it grow in real time. I hate cookies. So, this is from the European Southern Observatory. This is the website I would go to. This is the official release, if you want that. So there you go. So, updates on 3i Atlas, probably still not aliens. It's probably not just sitting out behind the sun looking at us and spying on us. But technically, nobody really knows still. All we can really say is that these interstellar comets are definitely bizarre, and it might turn out that they're just as bizarre as anything that we might consider alien, especially when you just consider the possibility of where they came from when you're talking about just all the different things out there. Could it have came from the galactic core? Could it have came from a rogue planet or anything like that, right? And it's just amazing how you could have basically, like I said, all of these invisible rogue planets essentially floating around that would be pretty much undetectable to us because they wouldn't be lit by a star. And, most of the planets that we discover are through the transit method or from somehow looking at the star and starting out with that star. So maybe there's just a lot more rogue objects out there floating around in the vastness of space than we think. Just like maybe there are more small black holes out there in space than we think. Because, again, we can really only see a black hole when it's accreting matter currently, when it's feeding, right? So, if there's black holes kind of out there in voids, we wouldn't see them. Like I said, we wouldn't really see rogue planets. Space is vast and dark, and there could be a lot of stuff sort of going on in the Veil of Darkness. Why have a rogue planet? I don't know, man. Like I don't even know. I don't know why make planets at all. So today I actually thought it would be kind of interesting though to sort of just launch like a rogue Jupiter through our solar system and sort of see what happens. So this is Universe Sandbox. Again, shout outs to their team. I always use them a lot. They got really awesome stuff here. Um, I'm just going to move my camera actually off the screen here because I don't think that that's necessary for this part. So this is our regular solar system. I've never done anything like this exactly, so let's have some fun. I'm going to kind of zoom out here, and then we're going to just make a large gas giant kind of deal. Let's see what we got here. Planet 9. Let's do a random gas giant. Okay, so we're just going to create a random gas giant, and I'm going to launch it. Let's see. I guess I'll try to launch it through the inner solar system a bit. Look how dark that is. You can't even see it. And so that's my entire point I was kind of saying earlier when we talk about looking for rogue planets. The ones that I think we're finding mostly are, in essentially stellar nurseries, and they're accreting, they're getting larger and larger. All right, let's go. Oh, crap. I made two of them. Whoopsie. We have sent it off course now. You know what? I can always start over, but this could be fun. See where it's going to fly. I hope this doesn't take too long. Let's see here. But yeah, let me know down in the comments there. What do you guys think? Where these objects come from? Let's see what our trajectory looks like. You know what? I'm just going to delete it because I'm pretty sure I messed up the trajectory. Here, we'll do another random gas giant. Launch. Oh, we do have the launch velocity too here. Nice. So let's do like 60 kilometers per second maybe. No auto launch velocity. Let's do 45. Circumstellar disk. Sorry, it's hard for me to read comments and do this. I will definitely read them all at the end, but I start losing my focus. I'm a little ADHD, so. Okay, so we're going to go 45 kilometers per second, random gas giant, and we're going to sort of launch it into the inner solar system. Let's go. Python. That's pretty looking. About 3.37 masses of Jupiter. Oh boy. That's going fast. That's going fast. Slow this down a little. Dun 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 dun. I hope I didn't like zoom out too far and this doesn't take forever. Let's see here. Smoke. Well, I guess that's the good thing. You can always speed the simulation up too, so. Don't really see any disturbances going on yet here. There has been a disturbance in the force, Luke. Okay, just for the sake of, because we are live, I'm going to go a lot closer to the solar system to start out because I don't think it's going to, in the simulation, at least in the sandbox, you're not going to get lots of major effects early. So we'll start a little bit closer. And we have to remember, I'm going to come in at, let's come in similar to the ecliptic plane, kind of like how 3 eye atlases. That'll be fun. All right. Random gas giant launch 45 kilometers per second. Somewhere in that direction. Nixianu. You traveling at all, buddy? What are you doing? Did I launch it or are we still? What is going on here? Plus random gas giant, 45 kilometers per second. Boom. Okay. There we go. Dun, 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 dun. I'll keep the focus on it here so we can follow it. And we'll just kind of sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Jesus, is this going to still take forever to get there? Probably. Let's see. 7 days per second. I should be getting a new computer actually soon for the channel. It's one of the things I plan on getting hopefully here within maybe a few more months. Small. I'll just keep moving it. I don't know why I'm so far out here, but like I said, it just kind of shows you the vastness of space that, if I was doing this by myself, I could do it and it would just take so much longer, and then you got to kind of sit and wait. But then I guess the bonus to doing that is I can speed up the simulations for you guys. But all right, let's just get a little bit closer so we're actually like in the solar system here a little bit. Random gas giant, launch velocity 45 towards the inner solar system. Pshoom. All right, what's your name? Eteriap. Are you going to be our winner? 31.1 masses of Earth, so this one isn't quite as big. Okay, we're actually traveling now. There, this is a good speed. So difficult to see it. You can see it from this side, but I wonder how long it would take for us to notice if a rogue planet was actually going to fly through our solar system. I mean, some comets we don't detect until they're leaving. Yeah, I mean, James, I'm pretty sure our solar system has smashed into many other things before, that solar systems and galaxies fly around through space and smash into each other, and I think that's part of the reason that a lot of really smart people out there believe that we need to become a multi-star system civilization, right? And not just multi-planetary, but a multi-star system civilization, because, who's to say that it's going to be when the sun expands into a red giant that we finally get wiped out, right? It might not necessarily be that. It could be that we just fly through a dangerous area of the galaxy that's full of a lot of objects, and all of a sudden we're in like a new bombardment period or something like that, right? So, that's one thing I think I actually want to really start researching more, is exactly what is our solar system's position in the galaxy? What do we know about different like debris fields and things like that that our solar system may be moving through, right? It's just something kind of totally wild to think about. The Oort cloud is S-shaped. Now, we're pretty like 99% dang sure that the Oort cloud exists, but as far as I know, like I said, it's so dark out there, we're not really directly observing any objects out in the Oort cloud. Now, like I said, we're pretty sure that C2025A6 Lemon and the newest Swan. Ooh, I gotta slow this down a little bit. We're getting close. We're getting close, guys. It's heating up. It's starting to get a tail. This is the biggest comet you could ever have. It's the Rogue Planet Comet. Look at that. You still can't really see it. There's Mars. So we're just starting to pass through the orbit of Mars now. And then once we fly through and out, I'll kind of see what happens to Earth. It makes you wonder, like, what if a rogue planet has just flown through our solar system at some point, in maybe even in human history or something, right? Just caused a little slight proturbance and everything, and then kind of kept flying right on through. Speed it up a little bit more. Let's get it fly through the solar system. So now we're going through Earth's orbit, passing the sun. And let's see, we should still have enough speed. Yeah. So like I said, I did get it pretty close to about the speed that 3i Atlas was flying through. Let's see, it's slowing down. Will it fall into orbit, or it should just leave forever? That's what I'm going for. Yep, there we go. So there's our full route that it took through. Like I said, very similar to 3i Atlas, but this is a giant rogue gas giant. That's no rogue, it's a space station. Nice. Alright, how's Earth? Are we still doing okay? Has our orbit changed slightly? I don't think so. Because keep in mind, Earth's orbit isn't perfect. It's never exactly at 1 AU. Look at that. It zipped right through us. And Earth seems more or less the same, and the solar system itself seems more or less the same. It's kind of crazy to think about, just like I said, our position in the galaxy. You know, how many different things are out there that are just kind of flying through by us. Now, like I said, with some of these new technological advancements that we have now, it's really amazing that we can pick some of this stuff up. But it really just goes to show that, 3i Atlas is probably more like 3000i, or like, I mean, there's probably so many interstellar objects that fly through here that we're just now starting to get the technology to understand. Um, and I do believe that it was Stephen Hawking who kind of one of his most important things, when somebody asked him, what's the largest threat to humanity? He said getting hit by an asteroid or a comet or something like that. And, so I think the best way to really kind of respect him would be to do that work. And, you know, we don't know how common asteroid and comet impacts on Earth really are. We can estimate, but a lot of asteroid and comet impacts, they either happen over the ocean, or many of them have likely been overgrown by jungle or other things like that. And so we're really just starting to get an idea of how many different impacts have really happened on Earth. And like I said, it's crazy how Earth will really hide evidence from us over time. Um, yeah, just totally crazy to think about. So, all right, well, thank you to everybody for joining us. You know what? I'm gonna do some smashing. We'll smash a couple rogue planets into Jupiter before I get out of here. All right, Jupiter. Oh yeah, sorry, TikTok. I probably still shouldn't even have you guys on the call here. My bad. Thanks for joining on TikTok. Bye. And now. Alright. Yeah, YouTube, you guys are the cool people. I just kind of have my phone over there for TikTok people, but if you're on YouTube, you actually get the screen share and all of that fun stuff, so you guys get the better experience here. Because I like YouTube. Alright. Let's crash a couple random gas giants into Jupiter here. Pew, pew. A couple different ones. Pew. Pew, 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 pew. Pew, 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 pew. Alright. Pew. Chaos. I wonder if I was even hitting it. That's what he said. Sorry. Alright. Dun, 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 dun. Gotta end it off with a bang, you know. That's always the best way to go. Wow. Oh no. Matty. That's almost like me. Matty, I feel sad. Ritter. 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 Oh boy. Some of them just kind of flew through and missed. Look at that. Pshum, pshum, pshum. Doom raining from the sky. Just kind of threw a bunch of random gas giants at Jupiter. Let's actually make some of them collide for sure, though. There we go. Random gas giant, random exoplanet. Slow this down a little. Random gas giant, random exoplanet, random gas giant. I can't launch them too fast, otherwise they collide into each other. Nice. I like this guy's tail. I like the cut of his jib, you know what I'm saying? Very nicely cut jib on that one. Oh my. Quit having a good jib, you know what I'm saying? Look up what a jib is. You'll be like kind of surprised. You'll be like, wow, that's dumb. If you've ever used that phrase before. If you're under 30, you'll be like, what is this guy talking about? Oh. Alright, is Earth still doing okay? Uh-oh. This might be kind of bad for Earth, actually. This might be worse than just the rogue planet that was flying through. Let's see here. See if it turns out really being bad or not. That's nice. I'm gonna zoom in on this. Probably try to get this for a short or something. Oh. Egoria. He just flew through and did a little damage, and he's on his way out now. Nice. I'm pretty sure that now, though, like, now our solar system's gonna be in some serious trouble. Let's speed this up here. Pew, pew. Uh-oh. Yeah, we just have all these collisions just ejecting matter and fragments. I wonder if Earth's been hit by a fragment yet. Let's kind of look at this from the perspective of Earth for a little bit. Still hanging in there. Just have, half of the Jupiter system flying through into us. Not cool. Not cool, guys. Let's see, is anything going to hit us? Dun, 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 dun. Who knows? I certainly don't. What's crazy is a lot of times when I'm playing this game, the things that I think are going to cause the most damage do nothing. And then things that I think might be kind of inconsequential, like, oh, I'm just going to flip the Earth upside down, ends up doing a lot more than you think. It's kind of crazy how wild and random our universe is. Now we have lots of rogue objects. There's no more 3i. There's like 9i, 12i, 37i. Gotta give all the fragments names. The fragments, by the way, are my favorite character in this game. Like, yay, fragment. And as always, things are gonna kind of order themselves back again. We're gonna make ourselves a new asteroid belt, it looks like. Some things will be ejected, some things will launch into the sun. And eventually things will order themselves back how they should. Thanks for stopping in, James. Absolutely wonderful. I like James, by the way. I might be interviewing him on my channel kind of soon. I'm just trying to figure out how to fit it into my schedule. He believes he has come up with a new kind of unified theory of everything, so. And he doesn't sound like a crazy person, so I thought it might be kind of interesting to just interview him, maybe get him on the channel. That would be kind of fun. Uh-oh. Oh, we got all these near misses. Earth's still hanging in there. Do we have a new moon? Oh no, that's way, way back there. That's way in the background. Oh no. Oh no. Alright, things are getting chaotic now. I'm just gonna let this roll for a little while. I'm gonna see if Earth survives. So a lot of times when I do collisions, everything doesn't get sent this tight in. But I was sort of colliding everything in that in-between zone, the agorogenous zone, in between Jupiter and Mars. So, yeah. Dun, dun, dun. Still no collisions yet. And that just goes to show you how many objects truly could be flying through our solar system, inconsequentially, as far as we know. And maybe we just measure, oh, there's a small change in, you know, Earth's rotation for some reason. But a lot of small objects that fly through, they're not going to really do anything if they don't hit anything, right? But if they do, I want us to pick up a new moon. That would be awesome. But like I said, it's the random odds of that when you're actually launching things from distance are reasonably low. So if that makes you feel a little bit safer, but then if you don't want to feel safer, you have to multiply that low probability by the, billions of objects or however many that fly through our solar system in any given century. And like I said, it's something we'll continue to be getting more and more data on in the coming years and decades to really paint a full picture of just how many objects are out there. And then obviously it's time for the obligatory thing. If you are on other social medias, TikTok, YouTube, X, um, I created a Spotify account, but mainly Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, X, Twitter, Twitter, TikTok. Follow me on those other platforms if you're on them. If you don't go on them, I mean, honestly, I put most of my time into YouTube. I like YouTube the most. So YouTube and TikTok get the most of my attention. I still don't think we've had a dang collision yet, guys. Or a new moon. Why is Earth always staying safe? Dang it. I don't know. We've had a lot of near misses, but actually trying to launch objects at Earth from a distance is pretty dang hard. Hitting a moving object, it's like trying to shoot a bullet at a bullet, basically. Which, by the way, we were able to, with the DART program, the double asteroid redirection test, we were able to actually launch a large satellite into it was Dimorphos and Didymos. It was a asteroid with like a little moonlet kind of orbiting around it, and we launched it into the moonlet of that asteroid, and we were able to actually adjust its orbit by a lot more than we thought we would. So I don't know. I think this is actually a far underlooked and very important area in science. Like I said, Stephen Hawking famously said when he was asked what's the largest threat to humanity, he said an asteroid hitting us. So if you're just joining, I basically just at the end of this, I smashed a bunch of like large Jupiters into Jupiter. So we've just got a bunch of chaos. We were talking about rogue planets earlier and Three Eye Atlas and how it could have formed from a rogue planet system floating out there in outer space. Um, we just have no idea how many kind of rogue planets and things like that there could be floating around out there, right? It's just totally crazy to think about. And we still have not got a collision. I was actually going to quit probably about 10 minutes ago, but we started getting all these objects flying into the inner solar system here. Like, look at Elora, or Elara. That's basically in part of its orbit. It's closer part of its orbit. It's perihelion. It's actually coming pretty dang close to Earth's orbit. So, obviously, if I were to just kind of run this forever, um, I think we would see a collision. But I always try to, when I'm doing lives for you guys, I always try to kind of keep it exciting. It's like, come on, why won't something smash together? But like I said, that's what actually kind of gives me a little bit of hope, and that it's actually just there's so much space in between objects out there. And I think generally when we look at um, solar system models and things like that, that we think that there's less space between the objects than they are because they have to draw the planets large for us to be able to see them in these models. So, all right, is our sun traveling more now? Uh-oh. We might have a lot more change going on here than I thought. Maybe for Christmas or New Year's, I'll do like a revisiting of our saved ones. So, I'm going to get out of here, guys. I'm going to give this a save. Like I said, thanks. Like, comment, subscribe. Share this with a nerdy friend. Share it with a flat earther. I don't really care. But no, seriously, outer space stuff kind of really isn't for everybody. So, but if you got a nerdy friend who's into stuff like this, share it out with them. Check me out on Facebook. Check me out on X, TikTok, and Instagram. Everybody have a great and wonderful night. Thanks for stopping in, and I hope you learned something great today.